Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous session we have discussed about the conditions for states of a matter. That is, we consider two conditions, that is temperature and pressure, right? Well, in this session we go for the next concept. It is intermolecular forces. Okay, intermolecular forces of attraction. Well, here, as the name suggests, say intermolecular. Earlier also I have just we considered just introductory part. IM intermolecular FO forces of attraction. IMFO. We already noticed the intermolecular force of attraction in case of solids. It is very high. Okay, solids intermolecular force of attraction is very high. Then liquids, than gases. So is the sequence decreasing order of intermolecular forces. In case of solid it is very high and it is least in case of gases. Well, here depending on type of intermolecular forces acting among the particles, yes, we said we can categorize the states of a matter. That is, the physical state of a matter depends even on the intermolecular forces of attraction. If it is very high, that matter is going to acquire solid state. If it is less, is going to acquire liquid state. If it is very less, then that matter acquires gaseous state. Okay, well, now in this session we go for that intermolecular forces of attraction. Yes, what it is there are two types of intermolecular forces acting in between the particles of a matter. That is, it may be polar interactions or it may be non-polar interactions. Well, here polar interactions, it is a kind of intermolecular forces of attraction which exist among the particles of a matter. Well, here polar interactions where charges are involved, means here charged particles or charged bodies are involved in interaction. Therefore, we call it is a polar interaction. So polar, the using the term polar, it is indicates the charged particles or charged species, the species which carries charge. They may carry positive charge, negative charge, or they even may have high electron density or less electron density. Usually this polar interaction involves charged particles, means whatever the interaction takes place between the charged particles, it is referred as a polar interactions. Well, it is further classified, that polar interaction is further classified into different types. One is dipole-dipole interactions. Okay, it is a kind of polar interactions. Second one, dipole-induced dipole interactions. And third one, ion dipole interactions. Well, remember, if I consider intermolecular force of attraction, we have two type of intermolecular force of attraction, that is polar interactions and non-polar interactions. So in polar interactions, what type of species involved? The species carrying charge. Okay, it is a interaction exist between, takes place between charged species, charged particles. Okay, charged particles. Well, so these polar interactions are further classified into three categories: dipole-dipole interactions, dipole-induced dipole interactions, and ion dipole interactions. Overall, in these polar interactions, what type of species involved? A charged particles involved in a interactions. Well, on the other hand, second type of intermolecular force of attraction, it is the non-polar interactions. So here charges are not involved, other than charges. It is not necessary that only charged particles they interact, even the non-polar molecules also interact with one another. Such type of interactions is referred as a non-polar interactions. Here charges are not involved. If charge is involved in interaction, then it is considered as a polar. If charge is not involved, then it is considered as a non-polar interactions. Well, example for this non-polar interaction includes dispersion forces. Dispersion forces are particularly when it is also mentioned as induced dipole interactions. Well, so in this session we try to consider the First one comes under polar interactions. It is dipole-dipole interactions. Okay. Well, consider formation of hydrogen fluoride molecule HF. How they form? Hydrogen combines with the fluorine and resultant will be hydrogen fluoride, a molecule. So this molecule contains how many atoms? It consists of 2 atoms. Okay, hydrogen fluoride consists of 2 atoms, one hydrogen atom and one fluorine atom. Well, here if I consider hydrogen and fluorine formations, so hydrogen 1, atomic number 1, so electronic configuration is 1, so there is 1 electron present, therefore say we write a dot. Similarly fluorine atomic number 9, say 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. So here valence shell, how many? There are 7 valence shell electrons present with the fluorine. So fluorine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So is the Lewis dot structure of elements hydrogen and fluorine. During formation of hydrogen fluoride, what happens? Hydrogen shares its 1 electron. Okay, hydrogen shares its 1 electron and fluorine also shares 1 electron each. Therefore, we say during formation of hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen and fluorine both shares 1 electron each. Therefore, what type of bond it is? Here electrons are shared to make a bond. Therefore, whatever the bond present, it is a covalent bond. Okay, covalent bond. Further, now if I consider electronegativity of these elements, bonded elements, so fluorine, on comparison, fluorine is much more electronegative than hydrogen. Because of this, because of very high electronegativity of fluorine, what happens? fluorine has a tendency to pull or attract shared electron pair towards itself. Say first they share 1 electron each so that a covalent bond is formed. But if I consider the distribution of this electron cloud, is it equal? No, it is not equally distributed. Rather, because of high electronegativity of fluorine, what happens? That shared pair of electrons will be shifted more towards what? More towards fluorine. So fluorine is most electronegative element. Therefore, that shared pair of electrons, they move towards fluorine. Now we can visualize here what happened. Though both shares 1 electron each, but the shared pair of electrons present more towards fluorine. Therefore, fluorine experiences a partial negative charge. Okay, fluorine experiences a partial negative charge. On the other hand, what about hydrogen here? What about hydrogen? If fluorine experiences partial negative charge, then hydrogen experiences partial positive charge. That partial or slight charge is indicated with symbol delta. Therefore, hydrogen carries delta plus and fluorine carries delta minus charges. Okay. Well, so what happened here? It becomes polar covalent. Okay. Well, so now here charge is formed on a molecule. So a same molecule going to carry how many charges? Two charges, two poles, two oppositely charged poles are present here. One is positive delta plus, another one is delta minus. Positive pole and negative poles are formed. That is, charged molecule is polar molecule. If such type of charges present on a molecule, then they are generally called polar molecules. Okay. Well, this HF molecule, HF means hydrogen fluoride also contains charges here. Therefore HF is a polar molecule. Well, now say what type of bond present, then it is, I already said both shares 1 electron each. Therefore it is a covalent bond, and the molecule carries two poles, that is positive pole and negative pole. Therefore it is a polar covalent bond present between hydrogen and fluorine. Okay. Well, now here two charges present, two opposite poles present within a molecule, therefore it is referred as a dipole. Di, two poles. So two charges involved, therefore it is referred as a dipole. Well, you can visualize even with the help of this animation. What is happening here? Say hydrogen, I said partial positive charge. Okay, fluorine, it carries partial negative charge. They combine and leads to formation of a HF molecule. But when I look at the electron density here, so positive indicates the proton density and that a negative sign indicates the electron density. What we can visualize here, if I consider the center of the molecule or center of this electron density, say electron density is more towards more electronegative element, one of the element. Say here fluorine is more electronegative, therefore electron density is more towards fluorine element. After bonding, fluorine going to experiences more electron density if I consider is the center. Okay, so electron density is more towards one side, therefore we say that molecule becomes okay polar because of this unequal electron distribution. Okay, well, now here one, if I consider one HF molecule, say HF, one hydrogen fluoride molecule, hydrogen carries partial positive charge, fluorine carries partial negative charge. Similarly, say consider one more HF molecule, hydrogen fluoride. There also hydrogen carries partial positive charge and fluorine carries partial negative charge. As like if I consider large number of molecules, what happens? The opposite poles attract. Opposite poles of a molecule attract and those molecules align themselves. Okay. Well, we can visualize here. Say I consider say four molecules, four hydrogen HF molecules. Say they are aligned themselves. Opposite poles attract. Means like poles repel while unlike poles they attract. Say is the one molecule, is the one dipole is attracting. Fluorine atom of one molecule is going to attract hydrogen atom of another. Means negative pole of one molecule attracts positive pole of another and vice versa. So is the one dipole, second dipole. So what is that? Dipole interaction takes place. They are interacting with one another. So how we can define it means the electrostatic force of attraction. What it is? Charged particles involved. Therefore what we can say, it is a electrostatic force of attraction between neighboring molecules having permanent dipole moment. Okay. A dipole interaction is nothing but yes, it is a kind of intermolecular forces of attraction. So how we can define it means it is the electrostatic force of attraction. Electrostatic force of attraction between neighboring molecules. So is the one molecule, adjacent molecules. Okay, neighboring molecules. They are the neighboring molecules. So the electrostatic force of attraction between neighboring molecules having permanent dipole moment is called dipole interactions. Okay. Then how do we calculate dipole moment of any molecule? A dipole moment ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, let us consider a simple dipolar molecule. Say AB is a dipole. Say carries one positive charge and another bonded atom carries partial negative charge. Say it is a dipolar molecule. Now we want to calculate dipole moment because dipole moment, the magnitude of dipole moment indicates the polar nature. Okay, polar nature can be predicted by knowing the magnitude of dipole moment. Well, first we know how to calculate this. Now mu, dipole moment mu is equal to product of charges, say positive and negative charges. So generally their charges are indicated with q, quantity of charges, magnitude of charges. So product of charges into the distance between the bonded atoms, that is L. So dipole moment can be calculated with the formula mu is equal to q into L. Here q is the product of charges and L is the distance between the bonded particles. Okay. Well, Now, important things to be remembered here: the dipole-dipole interaction energy between stationary polar molecules. What type of molecule I am specifying? Stationary polar molecules. There is no any rotation of the bonded molecules takes place in such molecule. Just remember, stationary polar molecules, it is proportional to 1 by r cube. Okay. So in case of what type of molecule I am specifying? It is a stationary polar molecules. So the dipole-dipole interaction energy, which is proportional to 1 by r cube in case of stationary polar molecules. On the other hand, in case of rotating polar molecules, okay, if the molecules have some rotational motions, then in such type of molecules, it will directly is proportional to 1 by r raised to 6. 1 by r cube is in case of stationary polar molecules. 1 by r raised to 6 is the in case of rotating polar molecules. Here, what is that r means? R is the distance between polar molecules. Okay, r indicates the distance between polar molecules, right? Consider MCQs. The first one, dipole-dipole interaction is due to. Okay, dipole-dipole interaction is due to. First option, polar interactions, non-polar interactions, both, none of these. So yes, it comes under which one? The dipole interaction comes under polar interactions, right? Well, second one, if higher dipole moment indicates, what I said, the dipole moment mu can be used to indicate the polar nature. How they are proportional? Both are directly proportional. Higher the magnitude of dipole moment, more is the polarity, and vice versa. Just we consider less polar, more polar, zero polarity, non-polar. So what is it is? If higher dipole moment, say dipole moment and polar nature both are directly proportional. Therefore, what it indicates? More polar. Higher the dipole moment, more is the polar nature, more polarity. Answer B. Okay. Well, with this, I'm going to conclude about this session. Again, in the next session, we go for other type of interactions. Okay. Thank you. Be safe.